Clinical mental health counseling is a vibrant and dynamic field of practice that affords counselors rich potential to impact the lives of their clients. In May of 2015, the Bureau of Labor Statistics indicated that there were over 128,000 clinical mental health counselors practicing in the United States. Currently, estimations suggest significant growth in the number of clinical mental health counselors needed, with a projected growth of over 24%, which is much higher than average for most professions. This anticipated growth in the field provides job security and rich opportunities for clinical mental health counselors. To understand how the field of clinical mental health counselors fits within the scope of helping professionals and the field of counseling specifically, it is helpful to begin with the overview of the counseling field and the foundational orientations upon which the field is built. The foundational principles of counseling. The mental health field includes different types of helping professionals, includes counselors, social workers, psychologists, psychiatrists, mental health technicians, and of course, marriage and family therapists. Each of these professions has its own training standards, licensure and certification requirements, ethical codes, and standards of practice, as well as organizations that serve to define the profession and support practitioners. Perhaps more importantly, however, each field has a unique professional identity, a shared philosophy of helping that distinctions and distinguish it from the other mental health professionals. In a professional counseling, that identity is characterized by 5 key characteristics. 1, a wellness model of mental health. 2, a developmental model and a developmental perspective. 3, a focus on prevention and early intervention. 4, the empowerment of clients. And finally, 5, and probably just as important as all the rest, an ongoing commitment to multicultural considerations. Now, these 5 principles are embodied in the definition approved by the American Counseling Association, ACA, and posted on the ACA website, where you can find it at www.counseling.org. Counseling is defined as a professional relationship that empowers diverse individuals, families, and groups to accomplish mental health, wellness, education, and career goals. The designation of counseling as a profession, of which clinical mental health counseling is a specialty, is important because such a status gives legitimacy to the work and makes it specific vocation in which not just anyone can claim membership. Technically, for an occupation to qualify as a profession, a definitional set of criteria must be met. When these criteria are considered within the context of a professional counseling, it quickly becomes evident that counseling indeed meets the criteria of a unique profession. Now let's go over some of them criteria. 1, a specialized body of knowledge. Counseling is clearly a field that produces a unique body of knowledge. This is evident from the fact that there are scientific journals that address the broad continuum of work that counselors do. Systemic theory. A theory is an explanation of certain set of observable phenomenon in terms of a system of constructs or laws that relate to one another. Counseling uses a range of theories that include traditional theories of individual psychology, such as psychoanalytic, behavioral, and existential humanistic models, and theories of group interactions, such as family systems and group theory. More recent are emerging models of the most effective treatment of specific mental health concerns such as trauma-focused cognitive behavior therapy to treat the effects of trauma. 3. Special relationship between practitioner and client. Legal status and ethical standards make it clear that the work of clinical mental health counselors exists within a specialized professional relationship that provides protection to the client. Accordingly, licensed client counselors work under a set of unique legal and ethical responsibilities that are outlined both by licensure bodies with individual states and by professional associations. For example, the American Counseling Association. There's also others like the National Association of Black Counselors. Then there are like subdivisions, but that's the main one. You have divisions of the American Counseling Association, but you can all find all those under when you go to the website for counseling.org. And finally, 4, societal approval. That counseling is recognized broadly as a profession is evident by state licensure, national credentialing, accreditation standards, and legal precedents. Furthermore, the fact that the services of counselors are reimbursed by both public and private payers make it clear that there is broad social acceptance of the important role that counselors play in society. 5. Standards for admitting and policing practitioners. Individuals can join a counseling profession only after completing a minimum of a master's degree in counseling. Additionally, licensure by a state licensing board is required for independent practice. Each of the 50 states has licensure laws regulating the title and scope of practice of professional counselors. Here in Washington, it's a licensed mental health counselor, but when you're first starting out to get your hours, it's a licensed mental health counselor associate. The Code of Ethics, number 6. A unique code of ethics guides the decision-making and professional practice of its members. At a minimum, clinical mental health counselors operate under the ethical standards used by the appropriate state licensure board. If the clinical mental health counselor hold additional professional memberships like the American Counseling Association or the American Mental Health Counselors Association or credentials like the National Certified Counselor, they are subject to additional ethical standards and code of practice. Number 7. Professional organizations and similar evidence of a professional culture. Many counselors belong to a professional organization such as ACA, the American Counselors Association, and the American Association for Mental Health Counseling Association. Additionally, many counselors are members of Chi Sigma Iota, is an international counseling academic and professional honor society. Clinical mental health counselors also joins specialty groups such as the Society for the Study of Trauma and Dissociation, or attain specialty credentials such as certified sex addiction therapists, play therapists, and these focus more on certain populations and issues.